The House will be in order. House will be in order. Members will take their seats. The House will be in order. Okay.
We can get order. They're telling us.
Okay. We can get order. We can resume. Without objection, the chair declares the House in recess pursuant to Clause 12B of Rule 1.
The House has gone into recess. We are learning on Capitol Hill from following congressional reports up there from the reporters that are in the chamber in both the House and the Senate. Manu Raju of CNN is reporting that the Capitol is now on lockdown amid a tense situation with demonstrators outside the building. According to Capitol cops, one of their producers, Ted Barrett, tried to leave the building, couldn't because cops said the building is on lockdown. People are being ordered to stay inside their offices. Now, the House has gone into recess. The Senate has also gone into a recess subject to call of the chair. On Twitter, Molly Hooper, who covers Capitol Hill, saying that protesters are in the building. That was overheard, caught off mic while Senator Lankford in the Senate was speaking. Shortly after then, Chuck Grassley gavelled the Senate out subject to the call of the chair. So the U.S. Capitol locks down with lawmakers inside as the Trump supporters outside have breached the Capitol steps, according to CNN. And we've also saw reports that reporters were told that if these protesters enter the Capitol building, that the press would be ushered into their respective chambers, the House and the Senate, and the doors would be locked. Obviously, a lot unknown right now, and watching this as it all unfolds. Earlier, Representative Haley Stevens from Michigan sent out a tweet saying, "I'm sheltering in place in my office. The building next door has been evacuated. I can't believe I have to write this." Now, that was when Cannon was evacuated just for some sort of threat by the Capitol Police. I've saw media reports that there has been an all clear on that. Let's just watch the Senate chamber floor right now. All right, so you just saw the slate go up in the Senate as they are in recess, subject call to the chair. Also reporting that Vice President Mike Pence, he was presiding over the debate in the Senate. He was then left the chamber. The press gallery doors were locked at that point and then put into lockdown. Other media reports that the Vice President has left. And so while we are waiting to learn more about what is happening up on Capitol Hill and for the debates in the House and the Senate to resume, Let's show you what the Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had to say as that chamber began their debate over the first objection to the Electoral College, and that was over the state of Arizona.
We're debating a step that has never been taken in American history. Whether Congress should overrule the voters and overturn a presidential election. I've served 36 years in the Senate. This will be the most important vote I've ever cast. President Trump claims the election was stolen. The assertions range from specific local allegations to constitutional arguments to sweeping conspiracy theories. I supported the president's right to use the legal system. Dozens of lawsuits received hearings in courtrooms all across our country. But over and over, the courts rejected these claims, including all-star judges whom the president himself has nominated. Every election, we know, features some illegality and irregularity, and of course, that's unacceptable. I support strong state-led voting reforms. Last year's bizarre pandemic procedures must not become the new norm. But my colleagues, nothing before us proves illegality anywhere near the massive scale that would have tipped the entire election. Nor can public doubt alone justify a radical break when the doubt itself was incited without any evidence. The Constitution gives us here in Congress a limited role. We cannot simply declare ourselves a national board of elections on steroids. The voters, the courts, and the states have all spoken. They've all spoken. If we overrule them, it would damage our republic forever. This election actually was not unusually close. Just in recent history, 1976, 2000, and 2004 were all closer than this one. The Electoral College margin is almost identical to what it was in 2016. If this election were overturned by mere allegations from the losing side, our democracy would enter a death spiral. We'd never see the whole nation accept an election again. Every 4 years would be a scramble for power at any cost. The Electoral College, which most of us on this side have been defending for years, would cease to exist, leaving many of our states with no real say at all in choosing a president. The effects would go even beyond the elections themselves. Self-government, my colleagues, requires a shared commitment to the truth.
And here on C-SPAN, we'll take you back live to the House
Mega
floor.
Million lottery than you do having statistical issues here. Over 30,000 illegal aliens voted in Arizona using the federal ballot. Yet our Secretary of State refused the public access to review the ballots. Over a thousand residences were visited for proof of residency and address. 456 failed that test. They were vacant lots. Even the recorder's office used as addresses. What are they hiding? If the process was fair, these would be improbable. These would be once-in-a-lifetime type applications. So let's look at the ballots, the signatures, and the adjudicated records. Until this is done, Mr. Speaker, we should not count this slate. You have a letter from the Arizona legislators stating its intent to review the issue on January 11th. Our governor has refused to allow the state to properly convene to do its proper oversight. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I ask you one question today. Are you a ceremonial figurehead in your current role? Or did the drafters of the 12th Amendment and Congress in the Electoral Count Act of 1887 envision a role where you made discretionary decisions about ballot fraud and fair elections? If you were merely ceremonial, then let's be done with this. Let's eat our tea and crumpets and witness our national decline. But if you're not merely a ceremonial but vested with discernment, rationality, and legal authority to not just count from 1 to 270, then do not accept Arizona's electors as certified. Remand the slate back to the Secretary of State, back to the governor with the following instructions. Until a full, complete electoral forensic audit is allowed by the Secretary of State, the electors currently certified will not be counted. It will then fall on the state of Arizona to decide, does its electors, are they in the game or not? Anything less is an abdication of our Constitution, our republic, and our ethos. One man, one vote. We ask why? What is there to hide? Shouldn't the lawful victor of an election be proud, open, transparent about an election audit? I would. Instead, we were met with denials, cover-ups, and contempt of subpoenas. There's too much evidence of fraud demonstrated by statistical anomalies that experts have determined cannot happen in the absence of fraud to accept such a slate. I'm not asking these electors never be counted. It's just that they need to be certified the proper way. Our beloved Constitution is but a mere piece of paper if we do not follow the law, upholding the law. But now, alas, we find ourselves lawless, destroying the very thread that binds us together. But we need to get back to the rule of law. That is what has been violated, truly, by the actions in these states.
Thank you.
With that, I yield back.
The gentleman's time has expired. Without objection, the House is going to go back into recess.
All right, we have learned now that as you can see, the protesters have breached the Capitol. They're inside. They're crossing over Statuary Hall, which separates the chamber that separates the House and the Senate. As you can see, they've made their way over into the House side, some of them on the House side, some on the Senate side, right outside these chambers. Niels Lesniewski, who has covered Capitol Hill for many years, is joining us on the phone. Niels, do we know how it is that they were able to get inside the Capitol?
Well, from my vantage point away from the Hill, I don't know exactly which door or doors they were able to breach, but there were clearly protesters and violent protesters who appear to have breached at least one of the doorways, if not multiple, of the Capitol building itself. And so there has been there were efforts at locking down the building, but quite frankly, it appears that the sheer number of protesters just overwhelmed whatever capacity that the Capitol Police had to keep people away, and they did not manage to get the doors secured, exterior doors secured quickly enough. It looks like, based on the fact that we're seeing people go through Statuary Hall, that it was doors on the Senate wing of the Capitol that may have been breached first. But again, you know, there are people apparently coming from all sorts of different directions. There are lockdowns throughout the Capitol complex. And so certainly one of the things that they have to be paying attention to, if you are the sergeants at arms and the Capitol Police, is a breach that could come from a vantage point where you wouldn't normally expect it to. There are so many entrances to the Capitol, many of which are not normally open to the public, but in theory, if you have a large sort of mob, for lack of a better term, there are lots of places from which the Capitol building can be accessed both underground and at surface level. Okay.
And the mayor of D.C., Muriel Bowser, has just tweeted out, "Today I'm ordering a citywide curfew for the District of Columbia from 6 p.m. today until 6 a.m. Thursday." CNN and Politico is reporting that the Capitol Hill police have asked for more law enforcement. Niels Lesniewski, what have you learned about what the Capitol Police is trying to do right now?
Well, what we are learning, and this is, you know, a developing situation, but we have been hearing from my colleagues in the Capitol complex, some of whom are very familiar to your viewers, Catherine Tully McManus, who I know has been on with you